it's your girl Jane. Welcome to Daily Dose, a show where we talk about the hottest topics in K-pop. Where today, you are my angel. Psh. So before we get into things, I just want to remind you guys that KCON New York is actually coming up soon. And one of the cool things that they're doing is that they're actually asking, you guys, K-pop fans, the people who are going to attend at home, who they want to see, what type of vloggers and bloggers they want to see this year at KCON New York. So it'd be so awesome if you could tweet at KCON New York or adding me on Twitter at official_RCU saying that you would like to see me there, or during one of their daily live chats every Thursday. Just mention me in the comments and see if I can make my way there. Thanks. Now let's get started. So last month it was reported that FX member Sulli would be officially leaving the group and pursuing a career as an actress. For those of you who haven't really been keeping up with the whole FX and Sulli news, last year during FX promotions of their single Red Light, Sulli just all of a sudden halted her participation in said promotions due to sickness. This was followed by the confirmation of her speculated relationship with rapper Choiza from the group dynamic duo, and ultimately led to the announcement that she would be going on hiatus. So now when this news of Sulli officially leaving the group was announced, I feel like everyone just simultaneously went, duh. Ever since the announcement of her hiatus, people have basically been speculating that she wouldn't be coming back, because during her hiatus, even though she wasn't participating in group activities, she was still doing her solo activities such as press conferences and photo shoots. So I feel like people really had time to adjust to this whole new OT4 version of FX. And it was pretty much just widely accepted that she was going to leave. So end of story, right? Because in an official statement, SM said, "There's nothing that has been decided. We will make a decision on Sulli's future activities after careful consideration. We are currently picturing a comeback in that later half of the year for FX, but no details have been decided yet on that either." So apparently there's still a group, but mad sketch, yo. That's mad sketch. And I don't know if SM realized this, but they actually just confirmed that Sulli's status as an FX member is up in the air. Not to mention that this situation seems really similar to Tao, who clearly is done with EXO. He's not in it anymore, but for some reason SM just refuses to release and declare a clear statement of his status as an EXO member. Now, in my opinion, the statement seems like there's a chance that Sulli will stay with FX, and right now they're kind of persuading them. But in all honesty, I feel like they know that Sulli is leaving. They're just trying to find the right time to say it and the right time to do it. And honestly, if she wants to go, I think they should just let her go. As an outsider looking in, it kind of seems that Sulli's done with the idol life and all the stuff she has to put up with and do being an idol. And let's be honest, she's no Beyonce. It's not like we're losing a national treasured voice to the idol and singing industry. It's just kind of obvious that she's not really passionate about doing idol-y things like dancing and singing on stage. So if she wants to go, just let her go. Not to mention, clearly figuring out and determining Sulli's status in FX is what's kind of delaying and stopping them from coming back. They said that they're picturing a comeback for later this year, but I feel like they really can't do anything until they declare Sulli's status in FX. And the thing is, I'm not gonna come at people who really, like OT5. I understand, wanting to preserve the original members, the OT5. I'm a Wonder Girl stan, so don't come for me. But I feel like you have to realize that things don't last forever. Sulli has been an active idol ever since she was 15, and she's been training to become an idol ever since she was 10. So it makes sense that eventually she'd be over it. Sometimes I'll start eating a sandwich and I'll just be like, I don't even want to do this anymore, and I'll put it down. So imagine doing and working towards the same thing for 10 years of your life, something of which you decided to do when you were a kid. So by the time you're 21, of course your interests and motivations have changed. Now, I'm not gonna relieve all the blame from Sulli because I still think it's really messy how things went about if she is leaving FX, but I guess all we can do now is wait for an official statement from SM. Moving on to Show Me the Money. So K-hip-hop fans all over are rejoicing because the super popular hip-hop competition reality show Show Me the Money is back with its 4th season. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't watched any of the prior seasons, and the only reason I'm really checking it out this season is because I really enjoyed Unpretty Rap Star. But lucky for me, it is already messy. Let's get into it. Sulli, host of Unpretty Rap Star, infamous for showing favoritism towards contestant / AOA member Jimin, is kind of at it again, but this time it's towards Show Me the Money for contestant Vernon, who's also part of the idol group 17. Vernon is like a really handsome young man. I say that because he is young. He is actually young. He's like 2 years old. Okay, he was born in 1998. He's like 17. But still, he's currently gaining attention for giving you like late 90s Leonardo DiCaprio realness. And you know, people are kind of going crazy over him. But he decided to audition for this show, Show Me the Money. Now, during this week's episode of Show Me the Money, his performance became a really hot issue. No, not because he was good, because he was pretty bad, but he still managed to pass anyway, thanks to Sun-E and Verbal Jint failing to fail him, I guess you would say, during the second round of auditions. I don't know if all of you are familiar with this song, but he rapped over the beat of Drake's Headline. And if you decide to go and watch his performance to see how bad it is, I recommend that you watch or listen to that song first and then listen to his performance. And because that's the main reason I'm going to talk about why I felt it was super bad. I'm sure everyone else has their own opinions. Now, his performance was really, really basic, I would have to say. He was offbeat a lot, but my number one pet peeve is that it seemed like kind of like a parody of the song. Like, I feel like every rapper should have their own style and flow, but it really did just lift how the original artist sang the song, which I kind of thought was weird, but it's clear that he was just like, let me do this to be like Drake. I mean, he's even said, I believe, that Drake was one of his favorite rappers. Like, once again, no shade, but he was like serving you high school talent show realness. Like, that's what I was getting. And honestly, if you look at the other people being eliminated, it would make sense that he was eliminated too, based off what he showed. Now, I've been reading around, a lot of people have been saying that usually he's a better rapper than this, he was just lacking that day. It's clearly Sunny sees his potential, etc. But the point of the competition is to show your best, and if you don't, and you come up short, then you get eliminated, and that's just how it is. And honestly, I can't get behind that sentiment because during and at the end of his rap, he looked pretty satisfied with what he had done, meaning I think he thought what he did was good. Now, it might have been him just keeping strong because nobody wants to, you know, cry off stage. But I feel like he would have benefited from getting some feedback from the judges, because I feel like if he keeps going like this, he's bound to get eliminated. Now, before we go on, it's time for a segment I like to call Opa Didn't Mean It. Except this time it's not really Opa because like I said, Vernon is like kindergarten age, so like he's younger than me. I don't know, he might be older than y'all, I don't know, youths. And I guess it's not really Opa Didn't Mean It, but I guess I'm just gonna, you know, call out some of the Opa privilege going around here, which is basically cute boy, gets a pass and everything. As much as I do like Vernon and I'm a fan of 17, I don't think there's any way you can shield the fact that he did bad and for some weird reason he kept passing. And I just think it's funny because when Jimin did bad on Unpretty Rap Star, everyone was just like, kick her out, kick Sunny out too, they can have a honeymoon in hell, and y'all, like, people were ruthless. Like, it was just, there was nothing for her there. Like, nobody was trying to say anything about her potential or anything. But with Vernon, I feel like everyone's like, why don't you just trust Sunny's judgment? He has potential. He's just the boy. First of all, before I go into it, I just have to say that a lot of people are just blaming Sunny, even though him and Verbal Jint were a pair. So Verbal Jint could have, you know, failed him just as much as Sunny could have. But let's be honest, I don't think Verbal Jint knows where he is half the time. He looks so confused on that show. Like, he's so adorable, but he just looks like he was like, are we rolling? What's going, like, what is happening? So, but I feel like you can't really bring up the fact that he's young because he auditioned on this show knowing that he'd be competing against people from his age all the way up to like 50. So he shouldn't get a handicap because he's young. Also, and I thought this was really funny, but he straight up stated that he went on the show because he thought it'd be fun, and also he's trying to get 17's name out there, which I guess it's fine, but I know a lot of people attacked G-Man for that same exact reason because they thought that she was just trying to get, you know, AOA's name out there, was just doing it for the fame and the publicity. So it doesn't really make sense how these same things that G-Man was being demonized for. People are somehow trying to pass Vernon on it. And I know some of you are on the right mind, are just like, that boy needs to go. But other people are really trying to make excuses for him, which I just think is like quintessential, but didn't mean it. So girl, bye. Also, in other news, apparently the top 16 of Show Me the Money was leaked online. So, this is messy gold. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, so I'll just give a link if I find one to the top 16 contestants who made it through. But this is just messy goodness. Also, why everybody just be leaking stuff? Is this an Mnet show? Because the final lineup of that reality show that JYP was doing, that was leaked by somebody too. Why does no one value their jobs? Last but not least, JYP girl group Miss A, who debuted July 1st, 2010, recently celebrated their 5th year anniversary. Now, to celebrate this feat and anniversary, Miss A fans Say A's took to Twitter to congratulate them. Now, apparently, the original plan was to trend 5 years with Miss A, but unfortunately, that never happened. However, something kind of strange, I guess you could say, occurred. Now, while 5 years with Miss A never got to trend worldwide, Suzy did, which basically means some Suzy bias fans were forgoing the rest of the group and just exclusively celebrating Suzy. Now, having a really popular member isn't a new thing. SNSD has Yuna, For a Minute has Hyuna, Wonder Girls has Sohee. However, it seems like with Suzy and Miss A, it's like a really extreme case. The thing is, Suzy rose to fame through acting in CFs, aka most of her fame has nothing to do with being a Miss A member. So it kind of makes sense that a lot of the hardcore fans she's picked up throughout the years don't care at all about Miss A. I mean, you could kind of see that with the fact that with Miss A's last album, while Suzy's really, really popular and the song did well on the charts, not many people bought the album. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these fans are even like counting down the days till she leaves Miss A so she can just focus on that side of her career that they really like. But I feel like at the end of the day, you have to recognize that there would be no Suzy without Miss A. Like it or not, she debuted in an idol group alongside Min, Faye, and Gia. And without them, her story would probably be a bit different. So I don't understand why you want to celebrate her beginnings. But that's just my opinion, and as always, guys, I want to know what you think. Do you think Sulli is done with the idol life and SM should just let her go? Or do you think they should keep Sulli in the group at all costs to preserve OT5? And let's even broaden it. Do you think Sulli's actions of leaving the group or wanting to leave the group are selfish? Do you think that Vernon deserved to stay on Show Me the Money because of his potential? Or do you think that there's some idol favoritism going on? And last but not least, do you think that Suzy's stans are obligated to celebrate the rest of Miss A? Or do you think that Suzy bias fans were in the right to have only worried about making Suzy trend and celebrating her anniversary and not the rest of Miss A's? Let me know down below, and some of you may not know this, but I actually started a Daily Dose podcast. It's kind of like this show, except I elaborate on more things, and I talk about K-pop alongside my good friend Jazz. So if you haven't checked that out, there's some episodes on my channel right now, and also I have a SoundCloud. Also, if you're into K-dramas, I actually do a show called The K-List on Drama Fever's YouTube channel every 2 weeks. So if you want to hear some countdowns concerning K-dramas, make sure to go over there and check it out. Last but not least, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm trying to be invited to KCON, so if you could just at KCON USA on Twitter, saying you want to see me at KCON New York, that would be awesome. So that's it for this episode, and see you next time on Daily Dose. You are my angel. Sorry, but that song is a bop. That song is a bop, y'all.